Broken but not abandoned. Have you ever felt so broken that you wonder if God was still close to you? Where your heart feels crushed and heavy, where do you think God is? Psalm 34, verse 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This verse reminds you that God does not abandon people in pain. He moves closer to them. A long time ago, when I was still very young, I was abused by my stepdad. I didn't understand what was happening. I just knew I was scared, really scared. He threatened me. He told me that if I ever told to my mom about what he was doing to me, he would kill her. And at that age, I believed him. I was just a child, carrying a fear no child should ever have to carry. So in that moment, I thought staying silent, saying nothing, was the only choice I had. I didn't want my mom to get hurt, even we're not really in a good term for the most part. I still care for her. For some reason, God chose her to be my mom, regardless of what the situation we're in. I didn't tell to my mom right away because I didn't really have the words. I didn't even fully understand it myself. I just knew it didn't feel right. And when I finally found the courage to tell her, I thought everything would change. I thought she would choose me. I thought she would protect me. But instead, they argued and that was it. That's the end of that. Like there's nothing happened. Fast forward, she stayed with him. In that moment, it broke something inside me. It hurt in a way I didn't know how to explain. I felt like I was second choice, like I wasn't enough to be protected, like I was left behind. That feeling stayed with me. Later on, whenever I would visit my mom, she would lock me up inside a room before she left the house because she didn't trust him. Think about that. A child sitting in the corner of a locked room alone, afraid with nowhere to run. I wasn't most locked in physically, I was trapped in fear, and that fear didn't leave me. Every night when I closed my eyes, the nightmares would come. The memories, the fear, it followed me into my sleep. It slowly turned into anxiety. It got inside my head so deeply that I started believing something was wrong with me, like I was broken, like life would always feel this heavy. That's why I decided to share my story, because I know I'm not the only one. And if you're out there feeling the same way, you're not alone. What happened to me left really scars. I carried fear, anger, and pain in my heart for years. There were moments I truly believed I would never get out of it, like I would always be stuck in that fear. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. Hit the notification bell so you can stay updated on my latest videos. Don't forget to check out my other content as well. Now let me take you back to the rest of my story. But God found me right there, in the middle of pain. Through His love and guidance, I slowly started to see the light again. He comforted me in my brokenness. Through prayer, I began to feel peace. Not all at once, not overnight, but little by little. God saw everything I went through, even when no one else really understood it. There was a time I thought I would never overcome my anxiety, my fear of the anger inside me. But somehow, by holding into Him, I found the strength to face each new day. And one day, I realized I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was finally starting to live, not for myself, but for Him. I learned how to forgive the people who hurt me, not because I needed to be free. And the truth is, forgiveness sounds simple, but it's not. It took me a long time to get there. There were moments I didn't want to forgive. I'm thinking they don't deserve it, any of it. Moments where my pain felt louder than anything else. We know what God asked us to do, but sometimes our human side fights it. The closest I'm trying to get to God, so as the closer the devil tries to get on me too. It's a constant battle inside me. There are always this voice that whisper to my ears. Devil keeps saying I'm not gonna make it. But because of what challenge I have learned to pray more and more, get to know God more by reading my Bible, and then I realized at that moment God comforting me again, whispering in my ear, "You know you're mine. I made you just like me." I hear that loud and clear. It helped me to calm and think in positive way. Fear doesn't get to live in my heart anymore. Not after everything I've been through. I realize something. If my heart is full of hatred, there's no room for God to help me. He cannot use a person like that, not with all the baggage I'm trying to carry. So I choose to let go, not all at once, but step by step. I even learned how to pray for them, and that was one of the hardest things I ever done because the pain they caused me was real. But God showed me that pain is not the end of my story. There's still a brighter tomorrow. There's still a better life in the other side. I don't have to stay stuck in my past. I don't have to live trapped in anxiety. What happened to me does not define me. My worth is not based on my pain. My identity is not based on perfection. At the end of the day, God gives me the strength I need. He restores, He heals, He carries me step by step. Even in my darkest moment, His presence has always been there. God became the answer I was searching for. He changed everything in me. He showed me that I'm not forgotten, that I'm one of His creation. Will sin is still valued. Even in the middle of the brokenness, He didn't leave me there. He's using it. He's turning my pain into something that can speak, something that can reach others. There were moments when a couple of my close friends would check on me, asking how I was doing with everything going in my life. And honestly, if you had asked the old me, I would said I was really angry, full of anxiety. I feel not worthy of anything and confused, wondering why I had to go through a season like that, why it had to be me. But now, with God in me, something has changed. He renewed me. I can say this out loud without hesitation. I understand now. I had to walk through all of it, the pain, the confusion, and the craziness in my life. It had to be me. And somehow, that's what makes my story meaningful. I'm grateful, truly grateful that God allowed me to go through it because it shaped me into a better person. It taught me to see life differently, not perfectly, but with faith. Even when things still aren't easy, I'm okay because I know God is equipping me, preparing me for something greater for His glory. And I will never ever forget His goodness and love to me. Not now, not ever. And deep down, I know someone out there needs to hear my story. So if you're hearing this right now, if any part of your story feels familiar, if it hits somewhere deep inside you, even if you can't explain why, then maybe this isn't just my story. Maybe it's yours too. I know it's hard. I know the fear feels overwhelming. I know the anxiety feels heavy, but you can make it through. You can start again. You can keep going, keep fighting, keep praying, keep holding on to God because He can take the fear, the anger, and the pain you're carrying and slowly replace it with peace, strength, and something more beautiful than you ever imagined. Have faith in Him. I thought that was the end of my story, maybe you too, but it's not over yet God is just getting started.